This week, we want to show some love to Ed the Block and Cynthia from Brikx. Ed, another fellow veteran, and the Marines are better, LEGO YouTuber who's doing his thing in the LEGO space. Did you know that he's part of the 187th? No, not the Purple Clones, but the 187th Airborne Infantry Regiment, better known as the Rockasans. If you like seeing someone catch up on LEGO Star Wars, this is a place.
This isn't a paid advertisement for Cali Brick Clique, but we love seeing another LEGO veteran do his thing.
I do more listening than watching. I listen all the time on Apple Podcasts, or it can be found on Spotify. Because I'm a guest.
I'm bringing it to you in 5, 4, 3. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 80 of Cali Brick Clique. And before we get into the instructions, like always, you can find this episode and all previous episodes. I lost
take it again.
Dude, I'm really happy with my skin right now.
Zoom in, Claire.
No,
it does wonders for your self-esteem.
I know, right? You can see every flaw and blemish.
Just leave like that. Oh, just leave it like that.
Take that out. Clip it out. Clip it out on socials.
Ninja zooms in and immediately is out of focus.
I like you to focus on Mewtwo instead of your sig fig, Ninja. That's good.
Dang it. I tried.
Ninja's better. Mewtwo's better.
Yeah.
That was like a secret egg. That was like a hidden egg for YouTube watchers. So if you if you do watch us on YouTube, thank you for that. There's like 4 of you, so thank you so much. But the rest of you, please continue listeking on Spotify, iTunes, music, podcasts, all those fun things. Shy is incapacitated at this moment, but yes.
Thank you, Claire, for that save. And like always, we got Ninja.
Do we? I thought it was Mewtwo. Okay, we'll keep going. Claire, the plastic architect.
Hey, hello.
And again, once again, lovely to have him here. As always, Josh from Josh Build Stuff.
3 times, guys. I've been invited back 3 times. Let's see what we can do to make it not a 4th invite.
Dang.
How many people have been invited 3 times at this point?
The Sans count?
4. I think 4.
Nice.
I think.
Holly. Yeah, but some of those got kicked out of LAN, so they have like special occasions. If I get kicked out of LAN, I'm like definitely going to get back on here.
That means they have to reset. They have to come back 3 more times. I see. Okay.
I mean, I feel like it's been a second since we've all seen each other. I mean, you two saw each other recently, like in person.
I saw Josh on Sunday. Yep.
It's been 4 days. Yeah, I'm a little tired of you guys. No offense.
But as a recording episode, so we do record these. We did record the past 2 episodes before Chicago. So it's been like a minute for us to kind of sit down and like talk.
You just broke the 4th wall.
I know. Well, sometimes it's fun to do that. So since
that's not true. We filmed Tech's episode after Chicago.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We talked about Chicago during Tech's episode.
I totally forgot about that. I'm sorry.
We were speaking about the future, Claire.
I'm so lost in time right now. It's not even funny.
Earlier today, so we had agreed that it would be like 8 p.m. Pacific time that we would record. And
that's not what I agreed to.
Shy sent a message saying, or at least to Ninja and I in our like little thread, and he said 8 p.m. ? Then at 4 p.m. he sends us a message being like, see you in 2 hours.
Because he said 8 p.m. Central Time to me is what we agreed on. I don't know what you guys agreed on.
Nothing but the most professional.
Talk about like calling me out in front of everybody. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. So we're all just totally disgruntled here today.
Well, also, I mean, I'm still exhausted. I haven't
80.
really rested since.
From traveling so much? Yeah. Same.
I mean, even when I got back, it's been 100 like movement, like just catching up and everything and doing all this. So like, I'm still like, I just need to sit. Like, it was also like Ezra's birthday this past weekend, so like I was all running around with that stuff. So I just want to like sit and do nothing for a day.
Nice.
Happy birthday, Ezra. Ninja, were you saying we made it? What episode are we on?
Oh, I was, episode 80.
We did it, guys.
I don't think we mentioned that.
Wow, this is the most spread out intro of any episode we've done. And it's 80. Like
don't blame me. This is y'all's fault.
Yeah, we're almost at Lego's 90-year anniversary. So for our 90th episode, we're also gonna release a $400 castle set.
Boom.
I can't wait. The Cali Brick Clique Castle.
Oh, it has a nice ring to it.
Shy is basically, we're forcing him to sell off his collection.
Yeah, you get exclusive Shy.
Out of control. It's already building.
Exclusive Shy Black Falcon.
I mean, I'm proud of my army, okay?
No,
now I'm like, cool. Whatever. Anyways, let's get into Lego banter. So the past 2 weeks, a lot of things have happened. like some really not so favorable stuff towards the Lego community, or at least the fans, as far as Lego product. And one of them being the third-party custom ban from printing any actual logos from companies. How do you guys feel about that?
How dare they?
I'm hoping, and I'm guessing it's just a CYA thing. Okay, riddle me that. Just imagine the situation. Some ding dong puts on a Lego minifigure torso, which they have, the trademark or whatever of, and they put like a swastika or something like that. And someone's like, that's awful, because it's awful. And then they go to Lego and they're like, you are liable, you are responsible, this is your product, you need to pay, all these communities that are offended by that.
I could see that, yeah.
So I think that's really it. I think that's really where that's coming from. I'm hoping, because it does seem like a lot of effort for them to start going after the third party people. I don't know. I would imagine that they would spend their resources going after Chinese knockoff companies that like regurgitate their sets within a week of them being released. I feel like that's a bigger attack on their market share. I'm not sure, but that seems like maybe that's where it's coming from. That's my guess.
So I've already been in like a couple of discussions regarding this, and a lot of things that people are saying I can't really validate because I don't know, but I think they also won a lawsuit against Brikx about the minifig. So this could stem off of that.
Yeah, because Brikx was like taking a big chunk out of their German marketplace, right?
Yes. Yeah, there are big right, and the German market was a huge one to lose for Lego. That's for sure. But it does feel like this is going to be a rule that they just have and will use in the arsenal if they really have to, and they're not going to be like attacking everybody like conventions, like small, even vendors or vendors or anything. I don't think they're really going to use it unless they really have to, or if they do, if one of these people do something that Lego doesn't like and they're just going to slap it on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really worried about it too much, as a lot of people are saying. But time will tell to see where that goes.
And obviously, we all know what CYA stands for, so
of course
we all agree with that being
cover your shiny.
Yes, that's okay. I actually didn't. It's just Lego releasing themselves from liability.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, but who knows?
I feel like a lot of people already like hit this one pretty hard as far as like, we don't like this, but there's really nothing we can do about it. I mean, me specifically, like I am worried for companies like Brickmania and like Brick Veteran or any of the customs, but I honestly don't think it's going to go that deep and that far. I just feel like they're just like you just said, they're just covering their asses.
Yeah.
Did it say like no printing on them, or is it just no like advertising? Like you
can't use logos, like company logos on a minifigure. So printing on the torso would be the main thing.
So if it was just like a custom print, though, would that be a logo?
It kind of touches like a gray line, like where do you like what defines a logo?
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. So it's like it does set a precedence for customization for selling of Lego product for a minifig. Yeah, so it does feel like they're trying to like keep the minifig only to Lego and not use it. But see, the thing is though, like things like Brikx and like what third-party custom Legos do is like third-party custom Lego wants you to know that it's Lego. They don't want to create their own thing like Semble Blocks or Kobe. You know what I mean? They want you to know this is a Lego product. Oh, sorry, this is Lego, not a Lego product, but it's using real Lego pieces. So it's not like a new system that's compatible with Lego where all these.
Wait, what are you talking about? You're saying Brick wants people to think that they're Lego?
No. I'm talking about like Mania, Minifico, like third-party custom Lego.
That's what you're talking about. Okay,
yeah. They want you to know that their product is genuine Lego pieces.
That's like their main thing they say is like official Lego product, but
exactly. And then they say on the bottom not official with the Lego group, blah 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 blah. Exactly, whereas these other companies, they're not that. They are their own entity. They're their own building system. If they were to use or mimic the minifigure, then it's obviously looking like you're copying. So I feel like there's a big difference between the two, which Lego can distinguish.
See, I feel like maybe it's not even about the printing or anything. It could be just that the Brikx thing you were talking about. Could be that. Maybe they're just like protecting their
Mm-hmm. Like they have to say it because they won. You know what I mean? It's like just kind of
this is our thing.
But like, what was the lawsuit? Like,
that's what I don't even know what the lawsuit.
You even know? Oh, okay.
Research.
Yeah, I just that's why I said like I wasn't sure the validity of what I'm saying.
Cool. So we're like having conversation totally uneducated or aware.
Of course, yeah. That's how we do here. That's how we do here. It makes sense. But
I was trying to get educated.
I know, but we're not.
I mean, we can Google it right now.
No, it's fine. That's not what people expect of us. But anyway, Josh, what do you think about it? Were you planning on opening your own third-party custom minifigure with JBS on the torso?
No, but we found a custom minifigure at Bricks and Minifigures when you guys were in Austin, and I tried to convince Sans to buy it, and he didn't buy it because it was like a weird random company that does weird logistics stuff, and he didn't buy it, and he still regrets it. And I think you should let him buy it.
That was me who said no. He doesn't need, because what the problem is like Sans, when he buys a lot of like custom figs, he puts them in the case, like in his special case or whatever, and like and I didn't want this like random company that like we don't even know what it does or have any association to. It would simply be in there because of the memory that we have with Josh.
If it's still at Bricks and Minifigs the next time I go there, I will buy it. But I think the assumption on this random logo stuff is that nothing will come of it, and none of us and none of our friends or fellow creators will be affected by it.
Right.
Hopefully.
Also, with that fig, you should get it because there's not going to be any more figs with company logos.
I guess not. It was literally a company's name. Like it must have been at like a promotional event that this company had, and they gave out minifigure torsos with their logo on it.
That's such a
so it was a random company.
It was random. Like it was in the bin of like random like $5 figures with like most of them are just CMF figures. There's like Chima in there occasionally.
It's like the bubble. The bubble.
They're the bubbles. But one of them had a company name, which I'm not saying because I don't want somebody else to pick it up from my local Bricks and Minifigs.
Smart move. Yes.
And I was trying to tell Sans to buy it, and he was like, "I want to," and then he didn't, and I should have bought it in hindsight.
Speaking of packaging, that's the other one. The CMFs turning into boxes, which I feel like was a thing supposed to happen, I guess, a year ago at this point. Yeah. Like, but now we're fully getting into it by 2023, right?
We saw it with the video. Those figures that came out, and we kind of assumed that it was going to be moving forward from there. But then the next series that came out after didn't have it. So, and then Muppets didn't have it. Marvel didn't have it. And so we're thinking this next series is going to have it. Do we know for sure if it is?
I thought it was pictures.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures, but are they official or are they just leaks at this point?
I mean, at this point, I stopped caring. Like, I'm just going to buy what I want. Like, people are going to sell full sets. I'll just buy it then, call it a day, Bricklink, whatever
I'm so angry. You took out, the hunt is gone. The fun is gone.
See,
and Lego can hide behind sustainability all they want. It's not sustainability. It's so that more people will buy more figures and obviously get repeats and have to buy complete sets. But I'm not going to buy more from Lego. I'm going to do what you do. I'm going to buy 5 or 6 random sets off the shelf, see what I got, and then I'm going to buy the rest of the figures I need on eBay, still paying about $5 a piece.
Yeah.
Would you equate this to like trading cards?
That's
remember when we were young?
In the sense that if I want to complete a collection, sure, I'll buy booster packs all day, get a lot of the cards that I want, and then if I want to complete the collection, I'll buy the individual cards from third-party sellers. I guess I'll do that same thing. But that takes the fun away from me feeling up minifigure packs. I love feeling up CMFs, man. I have no shame about standing in a Target or a Walmart, feeling up packs, sending my wife over to the Hearth and Home or the Chip and Joanna Gaines section of Target. She can hang out there. I'll hang out with my minifigure packs. Claire and Sans, again, I'm reiterating the fact they were just in Austin recently. We were filling up packs at the Bricks Rodeo event that we were hanging out at. That's so much fun. I will fill up packs all day. It was really
fun. It's fun doing it with friends. Like we did it in Orlando with Ryan and Sans. Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, it's like
so
a
much
game
fun.
too.
Oh, I got this one. Oh, do you need this one? Do you already have that one? And that's gone now, and I'm so bummed. And instead, what we're going to see is a bunch of open packages on Walmart shelves.
Video. There was just like
exactly.
People stealing stuff. I'm annoyed. Can you tell? I'm annoyed.
Oh yeah, you're mad.
See, that's why I get my like I said before, I get my small time gambling fix from Pokemon.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah. Sorry, Lego.
I mean, it's just going to be like it's not going to be the process anymore. Basically, like a couple of us are going to buy the like big boxes from Amazon, and then we're going to communicate. And then because we're like a little community here, we can get them all and just like trade, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's if the boxes have like clean sets in between them.
And even if they don't, though, it's like one off. You know, like with Marvel, they were like one off. But like the video, it was a clean set.
If they're going to continue with the whole 6 box thing,
that's a good too.
It is a gamble. Yeah, I know it didn't work.
No, video was like a 24 box, I think, or whatever. It was like 2 full sets in one box. It was like the big box. Marvel was the 6 boxes, so it was Muppets. We did 2 Marvel boxes from Amazon and got like a random mix. Ryan did that whole video on it. But I don't know.
I bought 2 Marvel boxes and got a complete set.
Right. That's what a lot of people did. I think Jabo did too.
That didn't work for me. I got half this, not the same.
Yeah, I think you were the first person I seen to not get the full set.
Yeah,
I didn't.
And then after that, there was more.
No, but it wasn't clean. Like I got 6 and 6, like I got doubles of each one. It was like I got 6 and like 4. Clean. Yeah, it was like so these are pretty random.
I don't remember what I did. I think I might have returned one of them and then felt 6 others up. It sounds weird. I just took a weird conversation.
I just said I love peeling stuff up in Walmart.
You know.
Doesn't everybody?
Full disclaimer, we should have clarified. Obviously, we're talking about a very privileged hobby here, and we're complaining about a very nuanced aspect of this very privileged hobby.
Yeah.
But even if I get repeats of figures I already have, I'm still like, cool, Miss Piggy's awesome. Like, I'll take 6 Miss Piggies. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's still fun either way. It's all for fun, but I still am bummed that Lego is making a change and putting up this guise of sustainability.
That's the thing that sucks. Maybe if they were just like, if they were just like, oh, we're making the whole guise of like, you know, I don't know, just environmental consciousness is like a little bit ridiculous. Like,
are they also going up to $6 a figure, or is that not confirmed either?
Yeah, I think they're going up. I'm sure they are. I mean,
what?
That's what I've heard. A rumor. $6 a figure. It's probably 12 figures in the series. I don't remember.
Most likely.
Sure. I guess raising minifig prices. It was inevitable anyways. It happens every so often regardless. Remember when it was like $2 cheaper than what it is now. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, someone's throwing fireworks already. All right. Well, we did briefly mention, but you two were at Brick Rodeo. How was that?
Claire and Sands also came to my home, my place of residence. They stood and sat in the space in which I am sitting right now.
They met Tupac?
They met Tupac.
Jealous.
He's
kind of
for those watching on YouTube, he's over here.
He was like a disheveled drunk mess on the corner. Yeah.
Was he not dressed?
Did you tidy up your room for your guests?
I tidied up my room a lot.
No, they did. The house was immaculate. The house was immaculate. It was very nice.
So in the time frame in which you guys parted ways, the mess behind you became a reality.
No, there was still a little bit of mess. Josh's room was like moderately better, I think, than it used to be, but the whole rest of the house was immaculate.
Oh, okay.
I feel like the clutter though in that area is
it's a Lego room. It's so hard. It's so hard. Yeah.
I am learning about a new aspect of this Lego hobby, and that's called buying vintage sets.
Yes.
Or buying things from conventions, because I've not been to Lego conventions before. My only exposure to old sets is my local bricks and minifigs store here in Austin, Texas, and I avoid that. I only go there once a month or so, because every time I walk in there, I spend $200 because there's inevitably one set or so that I want. I just gotta have, right? But unfortunately, over the past month, we've been traveling to multiple conventions where they have a lot of used sets, and that's what's on the table behind me. And also friends come to town, and they give you Snap sets, which you've only heard about in obscurity. But Sans gets a good deal on some Snap stuff, and he's like, you get this Snap set for free. And then you help some other Lego friends assemble some Lego display cabinets, and they give you Republic, whatever the stupid new clone tank set is. They give you that for free as a reward for helping them out. So I ended up with a lot of free stuff, and then I also bought a bunch of stuff. So yes, my Lego room is once again a mess, even though I took some efforts to clean it because friends were coming to town, and my wife said, those Lego friends could not come inside our house until we did a lot of tidying up and finished a lot of house chores that we had on our long list of house stuff to do.
Those Lego people cannot come in the house.
That from an outside perspective, Claire and Sans are your Lego friends, and they can't come over until you replace the garage door interior door.
So, but you also like went into Emily's room too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was my first time ever seeing the Source's house. Yeah,
that was my first time in somebody's Lego city other than your Shy, like a horizontal Lego city.
How was that?
So cool.
It was a lot of fun.
So cool. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, the whole idea of it. I mean, you guys have, or you have already been in my Lego room, but just to be in someone else's like space of like the hobby collection, like to see two of them in one weekend especially two of your close friends, like that's.
Well, Ross and Emily have 4 rooms for Lego, and it's
well. They said fun. 2 actual Lego rooms. The other just has Lego stuff in it.
Yeah. Like the guest room has Lego in it. Then there's Emily's office, which everybody sees. Then there's the Lego City, everybody sees, and then there's like Ross's like office, living room area. Which is like the Star Wars sets are there too. It's cool. It's very cool. So it's just fun being in it's I don't know. It's very like. It's very intimate, like, you know what I mean? You feel like a little bit invasive in someone's like space because Lego is such like a weird little niche hobby. And so it kind of feels like this is your safe, like, you know, like our Lego rooms or whatever are like our little safe space. Like for Josh, it's where he, you know, goes to relax, like usually away from the family, or like sometimes his kids are there. And then Ross and Emily, it's like their time and their workspace as well, because like, you know, Emily does it full time. And for us, it's like, the same thing. It's like a very intimate thing, and to like getting in there, it feels like you're becoming closer with your friends, I hope at least, or invading their privacy, like either one or the other. I'm not sure, both at the same time. So I don't know. I think it's really special.
You're overthinking it. It's just a room of plastic.
It's not a room of plastic. It is an invasion into someone's personal space, and I love invading people's personal spaces.
Yeah, you do.
Honestly, I enjoyed more.
Josh opens drawers in people's homes, by the way. He'll go,
that's
you know, like
your
like divider, your like paper divider. He'll like go through it and like pull the bills out and see what's going on.
That's
but like
a normal thing to do.
Because Josh builds things. He'll go into like, he'll just like open drawers in your kitchen and be like, this was made well. This was made well.
I just giving it verification. Yeah.
If someone doesn't want me to look through their fridge, they would tell me to stop, okay? Or they would feel they wouldn't feel able to tell me to stop.
Usually shock and horror. And like Josh is like surprisingly uncomfortable in most social situations, but very comfortable in someone's home. No, just joking.
He's surprisingly comfortable in most environments. People are like, you're too comfortable here. You just got here.
You just got here. Why are you opening every single cabinet? And Ross was like, stop looking through everything.
I'm a curious fella, man. I've grown up and I'm just so curious about just people's lives. That being said, though, I enjoyed almost more being in the room that Emily films in regularly. Like you see a backdrop, right? We're all just looking at a conical vision through a lens of like the couple of shelves. But at least for when I film, and I've shown this in a couple of videos myself, where it's like I've cleaned off a portion of the desk that's going to be in frame, but just outside of frame, there's just like piles of garbage and Lego and drink cups and stuff. And it was great to see that, not to kind of break the illusion of the thesauruses as well, but like the Emily's room also has a bunch of just stuff off camera that you would never see. And it was so great being in that space. And it's like, what is on the shelves that never gets shown on film, or what's in the closet that's attached to that room at the same time? Because that was a fun closet to go through. Or what's under the tables in the Lego City room, because that was fun to rummage through. It was so much fun doing
behind the curtains.
Literally, they have curtains lining their Lego City, and it was fun to just get down on your hands and knees and look under the curtains. It was great.
Well, Claire's being fed. Now I'm hungry because it is dinner time.
No one brought me shrimp on this podcast, which is I was told I would be delivered some shrimp, but it's fine. Go ahead and cut this.
I could order you Domino's.
Please don't. It's so late.
We'll definitely have a talk with the producers. That's not
right. No, but there's something about our Lego rooms. I mean, a lot of us have the same stuff.
Yes.
But it's curated in a different way that makes it interesting. Because I was like, when Sans and Claire came to mind, I'm like, I don't see why my room would be intriguing to you, but like
everyone has different stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I know we all do, but like we all have at least one or two things that we all have. Like
you have all your Brickmania stuff. Your city is super different. Josh has a bunch of random, like he has Cloud City just casually chilling inside his closet. There's this like his wife got
too big to fit in a bag.
His wife got him this awesome like Lego vacuum cleaner that was like new in box and has a catalog in there that like triggered some weird memories for me of like playing with something as a child. I'm like, oh my God, I need to buy this like random 3 numbered set from like, 1989. So like, I don't know. It's definitely very cool. And then Ross and Emily, man, underneath that city, there's some cool stuff. And even in the city, that city is even cooler in person.
See, it's fun to look through people's drawers. It's fun to see people. That's the thing. You guys are all looking at the curated shelves behind me, which are still like very roughly curated. But like, there's a closet across from those shelves where there's like a UCS Millennium Falcon and like random other decorations that don't have room on the shelves. And yeah, Cloud City's sitting up there, and a couple of costume pieces are sitting up there, some Harry Potter ropes. But like, that's the fun part, to like invade someone's privacy and look through the cabinets a little bit and see what's in our Lego friends room.
To see who they really are.
Yeah, man. And we didn't even get to visit my storage unit while you guys were here. I was hoping we could, but it was stinking 100 degrees in Texas while you guys were here.
We'll be back in a few weeks.
Oh my goodness, please don't. There's a lot else that we need to do in the house before we're ready for guests again.
So you didn't finish that list, is what I'm hearing.
No, man. There's like big holes in our master bathroom, and Sans is like, what's that big hole there? I'm like, we're going to install more lights. We have a lot of future plans. Our house is an ongoing project.
Exactly. Josh builds stuff.
Literally.
Immediately. He builds stuff.
Not immediately.
No.
Josh takes a while to build some stuff.
They have 2 puppies that are chewing on everything as well.
Yes. We painted over the spots on the baseboard where they just chewed up because I didn't have time to replace the baseboard.
And then showed us, even though we never would have noticed.
Okay, but how much is a 1x6 right now from Home Depot with inflation? Inflation is like a tertiary topic for our podcast episode, but a 1x6 by 12 right now is like $25 from Home Depot. So I'm not looking to replace my baseboards right now. I already did it once. That's what I said.
Yep. No, I get it. Like anything construction-wise is not cheap.
Nope.
Especially if it involves wood.
Yes. Stinking lumber.
Which is the average American home is made of wood.
Yeah.
So,
unless you're in Florida.
So before we dive into this hard topic of inflation,
let's go back to the conventions.
Let's go back.
Brick Rodeo was small, but I only am saying that because I went to Brick Rodeo immediately after Brickworld Chicago, which was much larger. But Brick Rodeo, for those who don't know, that's the local Austin, Texas, or Tex Lug organized Lego convention. It rotates between Austin, Houston, sometimes Dallas, but I think next year it'll be in Houston. It was next year it's going to be in Houston, which I'm bummed about because I live in Austin. So it's much easier to get to it when it's in town. But that was like a fun, intimate show because, at least for me, it was the people there displaying and organizing the thing were the same people I run into at the Lego store every release day, right? Like I see these same people, and now I'm seeing like some of their custom builds, and some of their builds have appeared on like Mockumentary and stuff. Like it's people that we either know from the community or that I know just from personal life. Obviously, the Sauruses were around there. Kate came down there from the Northwest or whatever, Brick Huntress. She had her mosaics there. So it was like a nice mix of like familiar people that I knew and like some new faces that I had seen online and never met in person. It was a smaller show. So like the actual display hall wasn't huge, but still like great mocks in there. And it was close enough that I could bring my whole family on at least one public day, show them around. There were a couple of vendors, like enough to spend a couple $100 on some vendor stuff. At least I did. I know Claire and Sans, you guys spent a little bit of money as well. So it was a fun, nice, like small, intimate show to like come and go from. Like it didn't feel like, oh, we have to be at all the like meeting points and all the little like extra things. Like it was come and go from the show hall and just like enjoy it as you will, but we're going to go across the street and get some food. But you're also in Austin, Texas. So like I know people that travel there from out of town and like we're enjoying the barbecue and the beer garden scene of Austin. Like there was plenty of that. Yes, we did get barbecue while Claire and Sands were in town. But as a local show, I enjoyed being like 15, 20 minutes away from the convention. And just like, I feel like I took full advantage of it and like hanging out with friends, hanging out with Lego stuff, just seeing it all. I really enjoyed that as a smaller local show.
And we weren't even planning on we mostly were just there to spend time with like Josh and Emily and Ross, so they got us like companion tickets because basically Brick Rodeo had sold out of like the VIP or like the full all access tickets 3 months prior. So we were going to get those, but they were totally sold out. And so they created this like, I don't know, companion ticket for like parents and stuff or like last minute people to come. And so we were Emily and Ross's companion. And so we got to like participate. We could just basically, but we like didn't get the tote bag, which was like a bummer because it was like had this cool goat on it. And the tote bag looked killer. Yeah, you could buy it. You could
still buy the tote bag. I still bought it.
You could buy that. And there was like lots of cool custom stuff there. Like they had these custom sets like that were these like Brick Rodeo tacos. That was really cool. It was just it felt like a really well run by a lug convention, if that makes sense. Like versus like a company or like an individual. It was very like community based, which was really cool. Like the swap, it wasn't called a yard sale, it's called a swap. And it was very much like a ton of people who'd been in the hobby for a really long time, just kind of looking to get rid of stuff. And we ended up buying a lot of stuff for a really, really affordable price. It was almost like we were doing them a favor by taking sets off their hands. And it was like a really lovely exchange of like people who've been in the hobby for a long time. There was like a multi-generational seller. There was a fellow with his daughter and her son. And so like they were all kind of selling like different stuff. And it was really cool. And he's been in the hobby for like 60 years. So it was pretty cool.
So I had a little bit of FOMO just watching as all have fun, as we all do. Going from the larger Brickworld Chicago to this, was it a good like kind of a breather? Time to relax and kind of like and less stressful and chaotic type of feeling going from Chicago to Rodeo?
So I don't think Chicago was particularly chaotic. I understand why it was for you because you were doing too much at once. But like Chicago was like it was only chaotic in terms of like organizing people to eat and things like that. But like it was quite smooth in terms of like the hotel being very comfortable, being connected to the convention center and all.
For those of you who are listening right now, Sands is in the background organizing stuff.
He's laying out his army on the floor.
Well, this is the viewer challenge episode.
It is.
Seeing who's watching. So.
This is the one you have to watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
Normal thing to do.
Technically, you can watch it on Spotify too.
For me, Austin, I can't say if it was more relaxed or not because I didn't have to travel to that one. Like Austin felt more like I was leaving my family than Chicago because Chicago I just left for 5 days straight and there was no expectation. But in Austin, it's like, are you going to be home for bedtime or not? I'm like, I don't know. The sources might invite me over to their house or whatever. We're going to Pluckers to get wings. I don't know. So like for me, Chicago was intended to be and ended up being a vacation 100%. Austin, not so much, but Austin as a local, like I would encourage people to go to their local shows because you could just like get an all access pass and still just like pop in and out as time goes on and like pop in for public days, see like all the crowd of people there and see what people are enjoying and buying, but like then pop out because who cares? You're local. You can come back the next day. Brickworld for me was my first ever Lego convention, but I think I had very different expectations than most people would have going to a Lego convention because much like Tech, who was on the last episode, and this is just going to be a rerun of last week's episode, except with a worse looking guest. Sorry, everyone.
More or less.
Thank you, Ninja. I wasn't fishing there, but I appreciate it. But like, I wasn't going to Chicago to see the cool Lego builds. Like, I was going to Chicago to see my Lego friends, and like, there was also going to be just Lego around us as we hung out as friends. And the last couple times that we've hung out as friends, it's been great. Don't get me wrong. but they've been Disney trips, which are never relaxing per se. Like you have a mission at Disney if you plan it right, and like you're walking all day, and then they're tiring days and then like tiring nights because then you want to hang out with your friends. But like Chicago, I was like, I'm determined to make this an actual vacation, at least for me. I was leaving my family. I was going to a different city. And so I did. I took my time. I woke up late. I stayed up late. I was leisurely. Like I'd wake up in the morning, I'd head down to the lobby by myself. I'd get a coffee and a chocolate croissant and just hang out in the lobby. And I'm like, I'm sure someone I know will walk by eventually, and then I'll head over to the hall or whatever. Like everywhere I went, like Sans kept being like, you disappeared for a long time at certain periods. And it's like, that was largely true for me. I might head back to the room and like watch golf on TV for an hour because I was on vacation. Or more than likely, I'd be like, all right, I'm trying to go towards the hall, and I would run into someone else that I know vaguely online, but now I'm seeing them in person, and I can have this like great longer conversation with them in person. And I would just get tied up in conversations with all these people that like I knew as acquaintances. And like, I had so much fun just getting into deeper conversations with so many people. And like, that was entirely what Chicago was about for me. And sure, there was Lego involved, and we were around Lego, and we all bought a bunch of Lego, but like, I was there to hang out with friends. And like, that's exactly what I did. I fulfilled my purpose.
I can say a good portion of that was similar. I think if I, like I said before in the last episode, I feel like if I wasn't forced to like, I wasn't actually forced, but like if I wasn't voting, it would have been, or nominating, it wouldn't have been so chaotic for me. But I still, watching everybody's stuff, like I don't recall, I think even 20% of the mocks that were there. I was more focused on conversing with people, interacting with people. Like that's also what made the nomination portion of what I was doing hard, is because I'd look and stop and talk. And I'd rather spend more time talking to people than looking at the mocks around me, because I don't know when another opportunity would come around like this.
Right.
So I was really in that moment that I didn't want to kind of like destroy as I moved on. So I definitely understand how like going to Chicago was, you know, to see all of us times 10.
Yeah, literally.
So going to Rodeo, there were some people that you knew, right? But like, did you get a lot of, was there a lot of fandom there too?
As in people that I was a fan of?
Both.
I was a fan of plenty of people at Rodeo, and it was conveniently people that I didn't get to meet at Chicago. Like Kate, Brick Huntress, wasn't at Chicago, and I was very much looking forward to seeing her mosaics as someone who's done some custom mosaic stuff myself, granted at a much, much, much smaller scale. And then Kate was at Brick Rodeo, so I got to chat with her. And then like Dr. Cat was there, and I had seen her like hand knitted Lego, like it's a blanket that's knitted, but it's still like almost a mosaic. That is the Lego logo. And like I've seen some of her stuff online, and like it's always cool to just see stuff that you've seen online for years, and then you see it in person and you get to chat with the people in person. And then it's also the people that, like I said, I run into them at the Lego store every single release day. It's the same like 6 of us in line at the front of the line, and then like other people show up too. But like it's those same people, and they are a part of the tech slug, and that was who was organizing this thing. And a lot of them have just had displays and stuff. So like I was fangirling a little bit at just like people that I already knew, and it's like getting to chat with them. And like some of them know me, a lot of them don't know me. Also, Flynn and Richard from Lego Masters knew me by name, and not only through Claire, but Flynn was like, "Josh, how are you? Good to see." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'm good. Good to see you too." Wow. You don't know who has an awareness of who you are online. It's such a weird thing, but they knew me, and they were so kind and generous, and it was so great to talk to so many people. And that's what Lego as a hobby at this point has turned into for me. It's not about the creations, it's about the creators. And it's just so much fun to just get to know new people. And then you get invited on podcasts sometimes to talk to those people.
This one part's gonna get snipped out.
Get it? Yeah, we got meta at the end there.
That was total perf right there.
Yeah, it was good though, Josh. That was great.
That was great. No, but
everybody else talk now.
Now that the conventions, at least immediately, I mean, there are all the conventions coming up. We got Slopes, Virginia, but for like us four, I don't foresee us like being in a large position with a lot of other people maybe Virginia, for quite some time. So now that hype is kind of dying out, not for Claire, but for at least for myself, the hype is like dying down, and I'm getting back into all the work that I missed while I was gone. So the reality is starting to kick in, and you're starting to realize that, and you just mentioned it a second ago, like you're starting to get closer, and you're interacting with like real friends. But these are your real friends. At least I would hope so, because you've already invaded to one other room and got.
I usually don't invade friends' room,
but you know, I mean, you've made these relationships online, and it's now solidified that because now you've actually interacted and had real conversations that weren't hidden behind a screen. So now you can legitimately say we're actual friends and not just online friends.
What? No, I think I don't agree with a single thing you said.
Okay, so then,
none of us are real friends
because we all come from a spot where
we're not friends. No, okay, hold on. Yeah, I just think that but that's giving like a false sense of like what actually happens. It's making, I think, for people who could be listening, thank you. It is that like the interactions that we have online didn't give us the comfort of being real, quote, real friends. Like, I don't know, maybe it's my delusion or sense of comfort or whatever it is, but I felt like we were friends even before we met. And then we met, and then all that happens is you're like, oh, this person is exactly how they behave online, and they're taller. No? Do you not have that? I feel like the interactions
they're taller. Oh my goodness.
No, that's a very good point. Sans also has a point, but we were reacting to Sans' hand being raised in the background. Sans, go ahead. Come closer to the mic.
If one of us talk to you online and then so happen to meet you in person, that doesn't mean we're friends. Don't set that sort of, that's
right.
Open gate. You don't.
No, I think that's a very real difference and boundary, and a lot of people experience through podcasts, especially. It's something called a parasocial relationship. You will listen to a podcast so much that it's like, I feel like I'm like shoulder to shoulder with these people, and we're sitting around, and I'm a part of the conversation too, because I'm talking to myself in my car while they're talking to themselves on the podcast. So yes, just because we all chat online, or we might chat in a live chat or something, does not a friend make. But yes, us in this group, we do talk outside of podcast environments, and we chat casually in not stream environments. And it has turned into a real friendship that has obviously been spawned out of a Lego thing, which is why I have continuously said that I don't think I'm a good guest on the podcast, because I just want to sit around and chat with my friends and not follow a specific format or a specific topic.
And go over our Pokemon polls.
So what I was alluding to simply was I've heard us all say real friends, as in you're referring to not your Lego friends, like your circle of friends,
like in-person friends, in-person friends,
so,
like not acquaintances,
not online community.
Exactly. So since we have broken that barrier, we can officially say we are real friends, as opposed to my online friends and just leaving it as a label. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say when I'm talking to my wife, I wouldn't be like the plastic architect. I would refer to you as Claire. I would refer to Josh as Josh. I would refer to Ninja as his actual name,
which is Ninja.
Actual name.
I don't know Ninja's real name.
But that's what I'm saying, is that we've grown really, like we've grown these really strong bonds online, and it's grown into real friendships online, and we've sporadically been able to converse in person. But not only that, we got to spend time doing stuff with each other to actually find out who we actually are.
Yes, a lot of you have learned things about me that I wish you hadn't, and that I would normally keep secret. But certain things come out when you're in a hot tub with other friends, and I would call you real friends. But when you share the space of a hot tub with other Lego creators, stuff comes out.
Oh yeah, all's fair.
It's Lego a good place to get to know each other. And I'm just saying, if you all out there are listening to the podcast and you would like to get to know us better,
I'm deeply uncomfortable with this hot tub direction. I feel like
I've been in hot tubs in several different states with you guys.
Dang.
I'd like to make it more.
Wow. Wait, was there a hot tub situation in Texas too?
No,
not in Texas.
Chicago.
You said a couple, so I'm thinking Florida. A couple is 3.
No, I just think Chicago and Florida. Oh. I wish we could arrange a hot tub situation in Texas, but basically, if we walked around outside in Texas, that's the same as being in a hot tub because it was hot outside, and it was like relatively cool when Sans and Claire were here because it was only in the mid 90s. Before and after that, it was in the hundreds. Texas sucks, y'all. Don't come to Texas. Forgive my language. I'm sorry.
So don't move there, is what you're saying.
I mean, yes, move here so we can all hang out together. Come on, Shy. I'll send you some Zillow listings.
Hey, I gave a few people the push to kind of help me move that way, and they all failed.
The responsibility to change your future in life. This is not a casual thing to be like, hey, convince my wife to move to a state that is like the total polar opposite of where we are now.
It's a normal podcast topic is trying to get other podcast guests and hosts to move to different states. That's a normal thing to talk about, right?
Yeah, it seems on brand.
Claire and I both mentioned it. We want to move out of this state.
Yeah, get out of California. Maybe Texas is where you need to be.
That's funny. I'm the one that doesn't want to move, and I have someone pulling me to move.
You guys are going to have to change the name of the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Hey, technically, we're all from here. We can keep it the same. So is the hype down for you, Josh?
I don't know, man. The hype is there, but like there's a kind of a sadness setting in based on what you just said. Like we don't have anything planned for like the next time we're all going to be in person together, which is you guys are like, oh, well, you're close to California. You're going to be in Disneyland or whatever. Like California people, you guys are going to be close. And there's some of our friends that are planning like a celebration trip to London, like hang out with Tech, go to Star Wars Celebration. Like I've got some FOMO from that. But like we don't have anything planned next, and I'm kind of bummed about that. But my 10-year anniversary being married, shout out to my wife, did pass, and we didn't take a trip or anything. So I'm due for like a family or a wife trip before I can do any more Lego Friends trips. Wow. So I'll see you guys all soon, hopefully, but after an anniversary trip.
Congrats on the 10 years.
Thanks, man. I'm not as young as I look.
I just made it to 10 also. Dang.
Hey, congrats to you.
Sheesh.
It's not easy. It's not that hard. Like people make it seem hard. Not that hard. You just kind of keep living for 10 years. But
speak for yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
No. All right, let's get into the topic of marriage. I met Miss Neverland. She's lovely.
No, I'm just kidding.
Probably right. Marriage is great. To anyone not married on the podcast or listening to the podcast, it's great. It's a wonderful thing. Marriage is the best. Monogamy is the best. I'm a big fan of monogamy. And the thing is, to bring it back to Brickworld Chicago, I had some great conversations about how great monogamy is. Like I'm not joking. Claire, you're muted. I'm not joking.
We have to cut this out. This is ridiculous.
No, you don't. No, this has nothing to do. I was literally standing in Brickmania talking to, again, another acquaintance of mine that like I'd met in passing just online. And it's like, we end up having a long conversation about how great kids are and how great wives are and how great families are. And like, it's great. And that we literally stood there talking for like 20, 30 minutes about like life aspirations and stuff. You can get real deep with people if you just start asking like seemingly invasive questions, but people love talking about themselves. And in the Lego community, like that's true as well. Claire, don't tell us to cut it. We're not cutting it.
Okay, I don't know.
But I honestly did have some very great, very deep conversations with people throughout my travels, and it's a lot of fun.
So all I've taken from this conversation is that we need to plan ahead another funsies for the frenzies.
Outside of Chicago?
We're not saying this with land?
No, just
okay.
Funsies with frenzies.
Oh, okay, we're not saying funsies? Okay, got it. Okay.
I know, funsies for frenzies, 2023.
For Chicago, at least.
Well, here's the question that a lot of people have asked me. They're saying like, okay, so you all have done Chicago and they've heard about Virginia because obviously like a couple years ago, a lot of you guys went to Virginia and a lot of us got FOMO from that. We're like, man, I wish I could have been there.
I was there.
But then what we hear from Virginia is people saying like, it wasn't great. It was in a strip mall. Like there was nothing around there. Like the convention itself or the hotel itself wasn't as great to hang out as.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Like, the convention itself is awesome. The vendors are way better. The yard sale is incredible. The hotel is poo-poo. Like but it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because you're with your friends and you're just like gaga for, Lego altogether. And so it's a lot of fun. So I don't know. I don't think it'll be we're going this year, and I don't think it'll be as great as last year, because like last year was like the first like in-person thing in a really, really, really long time. Mm-hmm. But it'll still be really fun. We like the friends that we're gonna see are incredible, and like no matter what we're doing with them, it'll be great. And also just like being at a Lego convention is just always fun. Like we went to 3 Lego conventions 3 weeks in a row, and we are still standing.
Sheesh. Surprising. All the shows.
Oh, man. That being said, there are a lot of people like me who are going to pick probably one big convention in a year. Yeah. And a lot of those people want to see other friends or content creators or content creating acquaintances like us. And they would say, like, where are you all going next year? And like, if you all said, like, my preference is I will go wherever my friends go. And so I'm basically leaving up to all of you. I assume everyone's going to say Chicago in next year, because the hotel was great. Like hanging out in the lobby and just like being assured of seeing Lego masters passing you by and Lego Instagrammers and YouTubers. Like you could just hang out in the lobby and you would see people and want to hang out with. Like that part was great to me. And so I would absolutely vote for Chicago in next year. But I assume listeners would want to know where everyone's going next year. And would you all say Chicago again, or is there something else that might be equivalent?
I mean, for me, I would say Chicago again. I think I'm going to do the same way. I would go do World War Brick, then go back down to Chicago. So that is the plan for me. So same thing, just without the kids.
Would you still travel for 2 weeks, or would you just like...
No, I'll still travel for the same amount of time. Is that this time Venus wants to come without the kids.
Oh, nice. That's what she said. She'd be down to do that.
So, like, but she's not going to go with me to World War Brick. Like, she'll just go for the Chicago part.
Right. Okay, got it. That's cool. That's fun.
She's like, I'm done with that. You have fun with your tanks and stuff. I'll see you in a week.
So I
would love to see Venus and get to hang out with her more. But we did get to meet. At least for me, it was the first time getting to meet Shy, your wife and kids, who are the same ages as both of my kids. So it was great to meet them in person, and Venus is as lovely in person as she would appear to be in all of your vlogs, as one of the 1% that watches your vlogs.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's up to 2% now.
1%.
Oh,
got up to 2%.
Your family's so great. Who wouldn't want to watch that?
No, thank you. That's very flattering.
Put your hand down.
I hope you enjoyed the Ezra schooling of dinosaurs. That was very fun.
I enjoyed that. My kids enjoyed that, who also love dinosaurs. I just hope that at Chicago next year, Ninja will also show up. Maybe he was there this year and we just didn't recognize him.
In the shadows.
Are you going to come or what, dude?
Oh, man. It's a lot of pressure. I don't know. I realize out of all this, I suck at socializing.
It doesn't matter. You just go, oh, did you see that big Harry Potter set in there? That was pretty cool, right?
Right, yeah.
There's
actually when I went to I gotta say this because it's been on my mind. When we went to Brickfest, LA or whatever, Pasadena. Oh man, I introduced myself as Ninja when I met Kate. I was like, oh man,
what's wrong with that?
It's just awkward, right? I don't know. I just
people go off of their handles. I didn't really introduce myself as SHYtimeisMytime, but I was like, for the most part, I asked for people's handles when they introduce themselves to me, and I have no idea who they are.
I always introduce myself as Josh from Josh Build Stuff, which started as a joke and a meme, but now I just realize how ridiculous it is to say I'm Josh from Josh Build Stuff. Literally my badge from Brick Rodeo, because again, we were just companion passes of Emily's. She was like, what do you want your badge to say? I was like, first name Josh, last name Build Stuff, as one word.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think I was like, what was? I think I was
plastic architect, all one word.
I was plastic architect and gutter chicken, one word for last name.
Yeah, no, I was Claire, the plastic architect, as one word. Yeah,
which is better than Brickworld printing our full first and last names based on our registrations. I would rather use my stupid online name.
Hey, JBS is solidified.
At least someone or two recognized me I will say that about Brickworld. more people knew who I was at Brickworld than they did at Brick Rodeo. But I'm not a big name on the internet or in Texas apparently. But in Chicago, several people knew me as an extension of Ryan's channel. I've been in a couple of Ryan's videos. So basically, I felt like Sans. Even though I saw Sans get recognized in Texas several times. People would say, "Are you Sans?" or "Can I get a picture?"
And he always says no.
Oh,
he does.
I was just about to ask, did he say no?
He says, "Are you Sans?" and he responds with "Nope," and he turns away from you, which I love because that's a Josh move right there. Him and I are kindred spirits, just about 10 years apart. Ooh,
I always miss the reaction of that, like of the person saying that.
I love it. Though, if I may vouch for Sans, which is against my own nature and Claire, yours as well, some younger fan in Austin recognized Sans, came up to him, and started talking to him about Ryan and Ryan's content. He was he was
probably like 8 or something, right?
He was a little older than 8, but he came up to Sans and was like, "Ryan should be nicer to the Lego group." He was like, "Do you know Ryan? Ryan should do this and that." And Sans was like, "Okay, cool." And he was like, "Yeah, whatever." And he like walked away. And I was like, "You should FaceTime Ryan. Like, you should call Ryan." And Sans went back to that kid and put Ryan on speakerphone when Ryan answered. And the kid took the phone from Sans's hand and just started having a conversation with Ryan, being like, "Hey, you should be nicer to the Lego group. Like this and that. Like, shouldn't be so critical of Lego." And it was like, this kid had like some gumption behind him to just like, not that Ryan is intimidating, but to just like talk to Ryan and tell him what he should be about in his business. And I'm like, one, credit to Sans for like making this fan's day in front of his family of being like, here's the person you wanted to talk to. And then like credit to this kid for just like chatting it up with Ryan.
Yeah, I took from that is that he took his phone.
He did, right out of his hand. This kid had some, this kid was bold.
Wow.
That's Texas for you.
Yeah, it was funny. It was great, though. It was also like...
Not for me. He took my phone.
He did take your phone. But what was funny is Ryan called back. He's like, "Did you set that up?"
No, he didn't.
You cannot make that up. That was funny. But that was the voice of his fans.
Every now and then I hear people talk about Ryan in the Star Wars sections of any Lego portion.
You know, you always tell me, you're like, "I was eavesdropping at these
it's just
in the Lego aisle, and I would have approached them, but they were minors."
Yeah, I don't do it. If they're teenagers, I contemplate, but if they're adults, I only did it once to Ryan, where I'm like, this dude was talking trash, and I'm like, all right, let's call.
I want to do it. I want to put Ryan on speakerphone and be like, "Yo, these dudes were talking trash about you in the Lego aisle. What do you have to say for yourself?" This will be like, "That's not the real Ryan," and I'll be like, "You want to bet? Watch that one video because I was in that video with him in Florida. We shared an Airbnb." Not the same room, but like in the same general house. We were there together.
You were downstairs.
I was downstairs. He was upstairs.
He was upstairs. All right. So, all right. Well, I am sad that all this is over. Reality just hit it. We're not going to see each other as a group for quite some time. Hopefully, Claire plans something soon because obviously we gravitate to her planning.
Claire's going to be in Disneyland in like a week.
Yes.
Do you still? How long are your annual passes for? You got annual passes. You're good.
Yeah. No, we'll see Shy. We'll see Shy and Ninja like at least a few more times this year, I'm sure. Because like the nice thing is like Shy, we just like every time we go to In-N-Out, we call Shy and it's his In-N-Out. It's just that's just how it works.
Just come over. It's right there. You know exactly where I live. But I am excited for Chicago next year. Hopefully the hype continues to that convention for everybody else because it was fun to see everybody outside of this YouTube space, but like in the other platforms too. There were a lot of people that I saw that were there that I didn't realize that were there.
There were crowds there, and you talked about in previous episodes. It was so much fun to be like, "Hey, we're the YouTubers," but then it was like, "Oh, there's the Instagrammers," and then we were hanging out with people, and it's like, I was like, "Oh, these people are pretty cool," and then I looked them up later, and I'm like, "Oh, you have like 500,000 TikTok followers or whatever TikTokers are." And I was like, I had, there were some like there was a TikTok crew there and I didn't know that, whatever. And they don't know who I am, but like, we all love Lego together, right? It was just a fun, weird, like collision of worlds but all kind of aligned on this same thing. But I feel like we all got closer together and some of us further apart in that world together. But it was fun meeting everyone. I mean, we all made like good impressions and bad impressions on different people, depending. Together, right? Though. I mean, that was my take. You guys feel free to correct me. That's what I had going on.
As a group.
It certainly felt that way. It was great. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I was a little bit worried, like certain things were gonna like be just like uncomfortable for me, like that I would just be like get tired really easily of like going to like, you know, the convention and the hotel, because like I remember at Virginia, like there were moments when I was like really exhausted and I just like wanted to like lay down and relax. But like, you know, Sans is like an Energizer bunny at those things, but I was able to like separate a little bit. So that was really fun. Unfortunately, like we had like a family emergency, which kind of scarred the situation. So we're really excited for next year. Fingers crossed. So that will be, we still had a good time, but unfortunately that happened. So, and Josh was really, really supportive when that happened. So that was really great.
Well, just let's all hope that all grandparents are out of the way by the time we have another one of these conventions.
Fingers crossed.
And then we don't have to worry about.
Yeah, mine are all gone, so yeah, we're good.
Mine too. I didn't have to worry about any grandparents this whole trip. I'll throw a red wrench in the plane.
Yeah, we came back from traveling, and my father had COVID, so that was super fun.
We were in a large group of people. There were plenty of people who probably came back from a large convention environment and got COVID. Or got some other viral related injuries like costochondritis or something or another. Like those are normal things that happen post conventions. But the thing is, we all had a good time. And when people have family emergencies and you are exposed to those people, you have a chance to see a more vulnerable side of your friends and get closer to them. And so there is a silver lining to every gray cloud.
Oh, absolutely. You totally get to see how your friends react in these situations. And some are funnier than others.
No, some compensate.
Premeditated situation?
No, some use levity and jokes in order to compensate for having to have any semblance of a serious conversation with anyone, because that would be strange.
I like that, yeah.
Ryan invited me to be on his LegoCon stream to be funny, and it may or may not have worked, but he gave me a microphone that was attached to my face. So what was I supposed to do? Not make jokes?
This is JBS. We're here for the jokes.
He invited me to make jokes. Yes, I didn't even make that many jokes about the Indian wedding that was 2 doors down.
You did that before it even started.
There was also another Indian wedding at Brikx by the Bay as it was going on too. Like a thing.
There's a crossover there.
I think so.
There's a lot of intentional. They want to go visit a Lego convention after having some delicious Indian food. It smelled so good.
So good.
This conversation had become very specific to people who were at Brickworld Chicago and also smelled the food from the Indian wedding.
It was apparent. There were 3 of them at like all day Saturday.
They were there.
All right. Well, Claire, I hope you organize something soon.
Got it.
Where we all can attend and at least high five each other one more time before the year ends, if not earlier next year, before Chicago. If not, we have Chicago. I hope a lot of you who are listening do attend. I know a lot of people are going to attend because of that, and I think Tex bring all of UK with him next time.
Yeah, he said he wants to bring that crowd too. So by all means, bring everyone you know to Chicago. We will not invite you out to dinner necessarily, but we will say hello to you in the hall.
There it is.
All right. Well, with that being said, does anyone else have anything before we wrap it up for the night?
Okay. Well, let's cut out all the dead air, and I'll have a chance to look up a funny joke on the internet, and then I'll recite it. No, I used all my good jokes in the LegoCon stream, so you had to be there in person. And I'm actually petitioning in future years at Chicago for Ryan to use his clout to get us a room to do an in-person event, and only an in-person event, not a streamed event as well. And we'll have a good time. Ryan, M&R Productions, fun time, good time, Lego hour. We'll do giveaways. We'll play games. We'll make jokes all together. Sans will be there as well, pending family emergencies. We'll have a good time. So come to Chicago next year and attend that particular panel, probably sponsored by Whatnot or whatever other corporation Ryan has got to pay for his stuff at the time.
With that being said, let's roll that music.
Roll it. Ryan has the loveliest coattails. I love hanging on to it. Take us somewhere someday. Hang on tight. You didn't do anything out of visual, just Sans in the background. I barely held up any Pokemon cards.
Exactly.